10% of Americans see in
For our group purpose, there's but one ultimate authority. A loving God as He may express Himself in our group conscience. Our leaders are but trusted servants, they do not govern. I just experience a group conscience. Usually I try to avoid them. People who are living a calm, serene life, they've learned to accept, they've learned to change themselves, they live life on life's terms. They follow the 12 steps very well, sometimes very, very well, sometimes they kind of slide by. That was tradition number 2. We don't define God, but we let a higher power express him, her, it, they, them, whatever self through a group conscious. And that's when we get guidelines for each group's autonomous. We try to follow the steps, we try to follow the traditions. And so you don't have rules per se. The only requirement for membership is the desire to stop drinking. You can even drink, go to a meeting, drink, go to a meeting. It's frowned upon, but there's no rule that you have to be sober. Otherwise it wouldn't work. A group conscious is when a group decides outside the regular meeting time to come up with guidelines for that specific group. Do we want to hear from newcomers? Do we want to hear only from newcomers? Do we want to frown upon foul language? Do we want to pass the basket at the beginning of the meeting, in the middle, or at the end? What readings, etc. Or every now and then, autonomous groups, after a regular meeting, will have usually it's a scheduled group conscious meeting, and they have topics. Where do we want to go with what are our readings? When do we want to pass the basket? Do we want to double dip? How far will we let crosstalk go? Stuff like that. You think you guys on YouTube are crazy? Imagine 10 or 15 sober alcoholics trying to come up with rules or guidelines for their autonomous meeting. The egos come out. We got to do it this way. No, we can't do it that way. I swore off group consciousness a long time ago. Today I heard that there was one at this particular meeting. I thought I'd try it out. Truth is, each group have its own group conscious, and they do things the way that you don't like it. I'm very fortunate to live in an area that if I don't like this meeting, I'll go to that meeting. If I don't like that meeting, I'll go to a Zoom meeting. If the Zoom meeting doesn't fit me, I can drive a little bit further. There's always a meeting going on somewhere around Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C., or Southern Maryland. And there's Zoom. Since COVID, just about any time of day, there's a Zoom meeting somewhere. And we have our literature. We can always read from our literature and get with one person. What they say, the only thing you need for a meeting is a coffee pot and a grudge. Yeah, the grudges come out. Yeah, imagine a live stream on YouTube where more than 2 people have different opinions on any issue. It's like that, except you don't have a mute button. You don't have the ability to drop somebody in the basement. For me, my personal decision, it's not healthy. If the meeting changes in a way that I'm not happy with it, I'll take what I want, leave the rest, and if I really am unhappy with it, I'll just go across town to a different meeting. It's really not that important. The important thing is you have a desire to stop drinking, and you try to work the 12 steps, and no one among us is perfect. We are not saints. The point is we try to grow along spiritual lines. We don't claim spiritual perfection. And yeah, if you don't like the meeting, move on. If you don't like my live stream, move on. If I don't like the live stream, like I yesterday, I moved on. I understand they kept the live stream going on for a considerable amount of time after I left. Our group conscious for my live streams it's equally co-owned. Muckster, Finko, Killing Time, Ariel. We don't override each other's on-the-spot decisions. And sometimes that pisses off people that like one or two of us, but don't like the other one or two of us. If I kick somebody off, Muckster doesn't get to override me. If Muckster kicks somebody off, I don't get to override him. Just have to take a deep breath and know that if we don't like it, we can go to another live stream. My YouTube channel's free. It's not monetized. Everyone's welcome to come and go as they want. Like group consciousness, I probably steer away from paneled live streams. Because I'm coming to a point where debates about certain things aren't really that important. Do we read the 12 steps or do we read the whole how it works? It doesn't matter. Do we pass the basket at the beginning, at halftime, at the end, or just kind of casually pass it around during the meeting? It doesn't fucking matter. People will give or not give as they choose. Is Muckster going to scream at GS? It doesn't fucking matter. Muckster and GS both have live stream tabs. They can do their own. I gotta ask myself, how important is it that Christopher Ruff wants to call me a crackhead, even when he knows that I'm not a crackhead? He thinks he's getting to me by calling me a crackhead. He made me chuckle. The people I had on my panel yesterday gave me a headache. I love me some Muckster. I love me some Hot Mess Summer. The two of them together yesterday gave me a friggin' headache. Yeah. Just no man driving and rambling. I don't even know if I'll post this or not. I don't know if you guys care about an AA group conscience. I've never been to one, but I hear multiply that by 10 is get these district, what do they call them? When you have a group representative go to the district meetings to have like a big group conscience for the whole district. No. Each group is autonomous. So there's no reason to have a district meeting and have that shit multiplied by 10. I heard it's a real challenge for people with a lot of sobriety and work the steps very well. It's a challenge for the best of them. Oddly, most of the time a GSR is a 2-year position. I can handle about 1 in 13 years. Which is interesting. My tolerance to live streams, some people drink, some people smoke pot, some people smoke regular nicotine. I put up with that more. It's less advantageous to my emotional and spiritual condition. Yeah. So how are you guys doing today? It's 11:49 on the 3rd of October. And other than kind of skimming over Christopher Ruff last night, I didn't watch much other YouTube. I get from skimming over Christopher Ruff that, I peeked in on Killamilla. Killamilla is now doing his own live stream. And I think GS and my brother Skeeper are on. And they were reviewing, as was Chris Ruff, reviewing for public safety, having a little birthday thing, which is odd. Through these other channels, I heard Christopher Ryder saying that he was so happy to have family time for his birthday, and I think he had a 2-hour stream. Not mocking it, but I'm like, if family time includes you being on camera for 2 hours, I think we're missing the point there. Just saying. I don't know. Celebrate your birthday how you want. Maybe your celebration is being on camera for 2 hours, but if I'm going to claim that my birthday is all about my family, I think either the family would be on the stream or he'd be off the stream with the family. Oh, there are 24 hours in a day, so that is another 22 hours he has for eating, sleeping, pooping, showering, and spending time with the family. So I guess he could squeeze them in there somewhere. Caffeine machine. Oh wow, they have a gut truck for caffeine. That's interesting. I'm on Richmond Highway, formerly known as the Route, or Route 1. A lot of vape shops. And I know, like I'm trying not to give a fuck about so much out there on YouTube. It's probably very rare that any of you reached 10 minutes and 59 seconds into this recording, because you probably really don't give a fuck. Oh, an observation. I did an observation. There were some Fraudent Wrangler regular chatters a while ago that I thought were, what do we call them cult members. Not when I say we, I mean Stone Vets Group, Fine Fix Finishes Group, Hill Pirate Studios Group, Shiz Happens Group, Finkel's Group, Writers Group. We all referred to as a cult. Here's an interesting about that cult. The cult leader is in jail, in prison. He's incarcerated. Don't know for how long. And there's a damn good chance that the murder charge is going to come back up, because it's now, was it with prejudice or without prejudice? They've changed it to where they can still go after him for it. There's a reason they changed that. That's because they want to go after him for it. And I hope they do. But these cult members is what we called them. Yeah, it's been so long since Fraudent Wrangler's been on and that I watched. I forgot some of those cult member names. And yesterday when I was doing my rough review, a couple things kind of merged. One was when I went to that over-a-year-old post I did about JJ and drugs and DOJ and all that to get a reaction. Some of the comments were from the cult members. Well, the cult members whose names I forgot. And I'm saying cult in quotations. Because surprisingly to me, those names, now that they're refreshing my mind, I see them in Ruff's chat. And Ruff's got an interesting name for Fraudent Wrangler. It's Faggot Wrangler. I get the impression that Ruff also dislikes Fraudent Wrangler. And he seems very open and easy to trash Fraudent Wrangler. Good for him. I'm with Ruff on that. But he's getting supported and cheered on by the cult members. If you're really a cult member and your cult leader is incarcerated or being a political prisoner, or however they want to spin it, you wouldn't very likely go on a channel that's opposing the cult leader openly, blatantly, and cheer him on. So anybody who still thinks that the Fraudent Wrangler audience are cult members, well, yeah, not so much. People will find things interesting on YouTube, whether they like them or not. If it's a live chat, they're going to chat. And the person on the panel or the person running the video, he's going to say things they like and he's going to say things they don't like, but they find it interesting and they're going to be there. So Sophia's Choice, we thought she was a Fraudent Wrangler cult member. No, she's interacting with Chris Ruff as Chris Ruff trashes Fraudent Wrangler. And the reason that name stands out because it was one of the comments on my JJ posts of April 21st, 2024. I totally forgot about Sophia's Choice. And now that I think about it, my brother's keeper, he was a Fraud Wrangler cult member. No, he's also very interactive with Christopher Ruff. And Christopher Ruff very openly trashing Fraud Wrangler. And my brother's keeper has no problem with it, apparently. I don't know, maybe something happened to the cult where they realized, oh, our cult leader's bad. But it seems to me these are people who just find common interests or some interests, and they just follow along with whatever chat they happen to be on, and they form acquaintances and relationships, and they really don't give a fuck about Friday fish. Ooh, I loves me some Friday fish. I don't see too many around here. Anyway, yeah. And now I'm not trashing out Sophia's Choice or my brother's keeper. They both said things that I can agree with, and they both said things I can disagree with. It's just my observation here almost a year and a half later. I think we've mislabeled this cult thing. Yeah. I disagree with calling Fraud Wrangler Faggot Wrangler, but hey, that's Ruff's way of childishly making insults. Why don't you call him Murdering Wrangler, Criminal Wrangler? You know, something that's more accurate. Unless you mean he smokes cigarettes, because in Britain a cigarette's a fag. Oh, I'm sucking on a fag. Well, technically I'm sucking on an artificial fag. I cracked myself up, and you guys are... I'll bet when I post this, 2 hours later I'll look, I might have 3, maybe 4 views. It doesn't really matter. Because, as I've been pointing out lately, I don't really give a fuck. Right now I'm just driving from A to B. I have some random thoughts, and I thought, I'll put them out there into YouTube universe and see what happens. Now all I'm really in the mood for is a late breakfast. I guess you'd call it brunch at 11:58. Where should I go for breakfast or brunch? IHOP, Denny's, Primo's, Bobanitas. I'm going to Bobanitas. Stay groovy, be groovy unto each other, and I guess you could say fuck off.